We continue our interview.
Yes, with pleasure.
You have often told me about the healing aids you have given to some people.
Yes.
We had already talked about it in other videos.
I was doing my best.
But you, personally, have you experienced spontaneous healings, or have you felt that you had divine help? Or from someone else?
Yes, of course. And I have a good example, besides there are photos, which prove that. Here is what happened to me. I made my bed, and it is a stupid domestic accident, which arrives to anybody. And, that hurts terribly. I caught my toes in the edge of the foot of the bed. There was a crack. And, I fell on the ground, so much I had pain. With a violent pain, in the heart. And, when I saw my toes, they became swollen, very quickly mauve, purple. I broke my toes. Try to walk on it. I could hardly move. I try to go to the bathroom, but what am I going to do? I don't want to go to the hospital. I concentrate, and I think. It was, at the end of the day. I'm going to stay quiet at home. I'm going to ask for help, as I often do when I have a big problem. I ask Victor and all the beings that are around. I really need help because right now I'm suffering too much. No answers at the moment. Sometimes it happens that I manage to go to my bed. I lie down, the pain disappears gradually because I fall asleep. In the night, I feel presences. I have the sensation to be raised of my bed. I said to myself, it is perhaps me that I dream. But no. I am really levitating. It is very luminous around me. I am half awake. And I see beings of different sizes. I feel that I am put on something metallic. I feel the cold of the table. As if I was naked. I feel that small hands work on my foot. I hear voices. But it's very inaudible. I don't really know what they are saying. But I know it's benevolent. They are doing something to heal my foot. I wake up in the morning. The first thing I do is put my 2 feet on the ground. And go to the bathroom to pee, like everyone else. Come on. I walk, normally on my foot. I look, and I have nothing. But nothing, when you see the 2 pictures. This is the picture, less than a few hours ago. Because, between the 2, there is the accident. And the other one, next to it, it is my foot completely healed. So, when you see the condition of the foot, it's crazy.
Do you think they were broken?
Oh yes. It was completely twisted. My foot was completely swollen on top, as if I had taken a hammer blow on my foot. Just thinking about it still hurts. I fell to the ground. When I went to bed, it must have been 9 a.m. the next day. I woke up around 8 a.m., so it didn't even take a day. Nothing more. My foot was totally healed.
You had no more pain?
No more pain.
And you have the feeling that it's really?
It's more than a feeling. It's a certitude. When you see the condition of the foot on the picture, you can try to imagine all the possibilities. There is only one that happens. Especially since I made a request before.
Do you have others like this?
I have more serious ones, because it was a foot.
Do you want to tell me about the accident you had here in Quebec?
In car. I was on the Huron Road. I was coming back from a party. It was winter, and I lost control in a curve, and I slid on a black ice surface. So even if you are a good driver, you can't do anything against that. My car started to turn like that. And I said to myself, this is the end. I'm gonna die. I don't know why in my mind, this is going to hurt a hell of a lot. And when I saw that I was still spinning, I made the mistake of hitting the brakes. I went in all directions, and I saw a small mound of snow. It will stop the car. I don't know what happened. It lifted up a little bit, and I took the mound of snow as a springboard, and I went up in the air high enough to break 2 mature trees that were on the side of the curve. And when I got up there, I saw the starry sky, and I saw my whole life go by. I thought about my children, my parents, and my life in general. I knew I was going to crash, and suddenly I saw very clearly a kind of blue bubble all around the car. The car stabilized in the air, and suddenly it fell straight on the ground, so it made a shock in my cervical vertebrae. The steering wheel was twisted in my knees. I was stuck, and when I finally escaped from the vehicle, the 4 wheels were turned inwards. The shock was terrible. Finally, it was not reparable. It was declared a total loss. And when the towing company arrived, the guy said to me, "There are traces of brakes 100 meters before. And traces, as if you had left, but then there is none. It is fresh snow. You literally flew in the air. I have never seen something like this. You are protected," he said. I said, "Maybe." It was an intense moment. I was still saved. It is obvious, because it is in this curve, there unfortunately, that there were several people who died. I don't understand why the city didn't put a safety barrier for that. We call it the death curve for a reason. And every time I pass by this road, I think of this story, and a very important detail. When my car stopped, and I escaped, when I got out, the person who lived next to me in the curve came out with a flashlight. Next to him was a kind of big black tarpaulin. There was something underneath, a harvester with spikes. If the car had continued to make a flight in the air, and had not stopped mysteriously by something he stopped it, I would literally have been impaled on it. It was horrible. And the guy said to me, "You are so lucky. Several people died in this curve." So, that's one thing that stuck with me. There are others.
Like what?
Like in 2009. I remember it well. It was a month later. It's very strange. I was working in a bar as a doorman.